Hello and welcome to this Coaching Veterans presentation on Vietnam Veterans and Agent Orange presumptive conditions. I'm Paul Bunn with Veterans Outreach Ministries, and today we're going to cover which locations qualify for herbicide exposure, which cancers and illnesses are automatically presumed to be caused by Agent Orange, how to prove exposure if you served offshore or on certain military bases, and what evidence the VA needs to confirm a diagnosis. By the end of this training, you'll understand how presumptive service connection works and how to build a strong claim using the rules that were created specifically to help Vietnam-era veterans. The first step in a Vietnam veteran presumptive claim is confirming service in a qualifying location. The VA automatically assumes exposure if you served in the Republic of Vietnam or on a ship operating within 12 nautical miles of Vietnam or Cambodia between January 9, 1962 and May 7, 1975. This includes Brown Water Navy veterans and now Blue Water Navy veterans under the expanded law. Veterans need to provide DD-214s, deck logs, unit assignments, or service records showing presence in Vietnam or waters within the 12-mile zone. Presumptive exposure also applies to those who served on any U.S. or Royal Thai military base in Thailand between January 9, 1962 and June 30, 1976, especially near the perimeter where herbicides were heavily used. Veterans must show their MOS, place them near the fence line, or provide duty location records. Security, police, dog handlers, and certain aircraft personnel are automatically considered exposed. The VA also presumes exposure for those who served in Laos between December 1, 1965 and September 30, 1969, or in specific locations in Cambodia, including Mimot or Krek in Kampong Cham province from April 16 through April 30, 1969. Veterans who served on missions in these areas can confirm exposure through service records, unit histories, or special operations documentation. Additional presumptive locations include service in Guam or American Samoa or in their territorial waters between January 9, 1962 and July 31, 1980. Herbicide storage and disposal operations were present on multiple bases. Service records showing duty assignments, ship logs, or TDY orders are sufficient to establish presence. Another qualifying location is Johnston Atoll, where Agent Orange was transported and stored. Veterans who served on the atoll or on ships that stopped there between January 1, 1972 and September 30, 1977 are presumed exposed. Proof typically includes service orders, ship records, or personnel files documenting time on or near the atoll. For veterans who meet one of these exposure criteria, the VA recognizes a large list of Agent Orange presumptive conditions, meaning no proof of the cause is needed, only proof of diagnosis. These conditions include AL amyloidosis, B-cell leukemia, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, multiple myeloma, type 2 diabetes, Hodgkin's disease, ischemic heart disease, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's disease, Parkinsonism, prostate cancer, respiratory cancers, soft tissue sarcoma, bladder cancer, hypothyroidism, hypertension, and MGUS, monoclonal gammopathy of undetermined significance. The first combined group includes all blood cancers and lymphatic cancers, which the VA presumes are caused by Agent Orange exposure. These include AL amyloidosis, B-cell leukemia, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, Hodgkin's disease, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, multiple myeloma, and MGUS. These diagnoses are confirmed through oncology reports, pathology testing, blood work, and imaging. Once diagnosed and exposure is verified, no further proof of cause is required. The next group includes major organ cancers, specifically prostate cancer, respiratory cancers, and soft tissue sarcomas. Respiratory cancers include cancers of the lungs, trachea, and bronchus. Soft tissue sarcomas refer to a wide category of muscle and connective tissue cancers, but exclude osteosarcoma, chondrosarcoma, Kaposi sarcoma, and mesothelioma. Diagnosis is confirmed by imaging, biopsy, and pathology results. Another group includes neurological and movement disorders such as Parkinson's disease and Parkinsonism. These conditions involve tremors, stiffness, balance issues, and slowing of movement. Diagnosis is confirmed through neurological exams and specialist evaluations. Because these diseases have a strong connection to herbicide exposure, any veteran with verified exposure and a medical diagnosis qualifies automatically. The next combined category includes conditions affecting metabolism and hormone regulation, type 2 diabetes, hypothyroidism, and hypertension. Diabetes is diagnosed through A1C testing and glucose labs, hypothyroidism through TSH blood work, and hypertension through recorded blood pressure readings. All three conditions are presumed connected to Agent Orange if the veteran meets the exposure criteria. The VA also recognizes a group of conditions that must appear within 1 year of exposure and reach at least a 10% disability level to qualify as presumptive. These include acute and subacute peripheral neuropathy, chlorachin or similar acneiform disease, and porphyria cutanea tarda. Diagnosis requires medical documentation showing onset shortly after exposure and confirmation through neurological exams, dermatology evaluations, or lab testing. Proof for a Vietnam presumptive claim requires three things: verified service in a qualifying exposure location, a current medical diagnosis of a presumptive condition, and evidence that the condition is at least 10% disabling. Veterans do not need to prove the disease started in service, only that they served in a qualifying location and now have one of the recognized health conditions. Lay statements can strengthen a claim by explaining when symptoms first appeared, how they affect daily life, and how the condition has progressed. Statements from family members, friends, or co-workers can support the medical evidence and help confirm the severity of symptoms, especially for conditions like neuropathy, diabetes, Parkinsonism, or heart disease. Keeping thorough medical documentation is essential. Veterans should maintain records of lab results, imaging, pathology reports, clinical notes, and specialist evaluations. Tracking symptoms such as fatigue, pain, numbness, shortness of breath, or changes in mobility helps the VA understand how the condition impacts daily functioning and long-term health. Vietnam veterans exposed to Agent Orange deserve recognition and compensation for the conditions linked to herbicides used during the war. If you have one of the presumptive conditions or served in a qualifying location, make sure you document your diagnosis, submit the proper evidence, and file your claim with confidence. For more support, visit us at www.vetcenters.org or call 1-888-8330-1942. You've served your country. Now it's our turn to serve you.